Well, Happy New Year, everybody. This is Elisa from the Rebel Crone, and I'm actually making this video the day before the new year. I've been wanting for several days now to do a really poignant video that would be the last one of the year, the last one of 2024 for the Rebel Crone, but nothing was coming through. Quite frankly, my heart was just too heavy and I just couldn't hear a message clearly, and it was very frustrating for me. So what I did yesterday is I broke pattern and I went for a long hike all by myself up in the mountains in Cerritos, and it was beautiful. And on that hike, I was able to just let go of the burdens I was feeling, just let them go, and to really free up heart space. Because all my messages, all your messages come through to a clear heart space. So it's really important that we do that. This morning to share with you a little ritual I did before making this video. When I got up, the first thing I made was a cup, I'd say it's a ceremonial cup, hot beverage. I took some organic, clean cacao, ceremonial grade, and I mixed it with a little bit of coffee, a little bit of cream. I poured a little honey into it, and then I added a little dash of cayenne, a dash of cinnamon, a little sprinkle of cloves, and a little sprinkle of nutmeg. Then I bundled myself up and I went out to my favorite place on the property to sit. And it's on a bench that overlooks the Ortiz Mountains. And there I had a smoke. I took out my little sandstone carved pipe and I put in this beautiful tobacco blend that I had a friend make for me. It's a combination of organic tobacco and medicinal herbs. There's mullein in it, white willow bark, and mimosa. You know, tobacco is a ceremonial substance. It's been used by the Native Americans for many, many years to really, alter their consciousness and connect to the higher ranges. And that's what I use this for as well. So with my little ceremonial cup there of beverage and my pipe, grounded myself into the earth, and I just started to breathe in, hoping that maybe a message came through. And that's what I want to share with you in this video, so that 2025 can be a powerful year for you as well. So after I performed my ritual this morning, there's one key word that came through, and that word was reconciliation. That 2025 starts with a major reconciliation. Now we can look at the world around us and see that there is a lot of reconciling happening, isn't there? We can see a lot of people are being called to task. A lot of institutions, organizations, things in the world are being called to task about the truth of really what's going on behind the scenes. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about a personal reconciliation. Step number one. It's so important that if we're going to reconcile our lives, we have to first step into the truth of who we are. We have to ground ourselves in knowing that we are an immortal. It's not just the little immortal within that's seeking to get out into expression. No, it's the immortal that contains us. We are an offshoot. We are a projection of that immortal. I know I say it all the time in my videos, but it's the most important thing. In my world, it's the most important thing to be grounded in anything I do, and especially if I'm doing a video, and especially if I'm trying to bring in a message for 2025. It's that reconciliation. Ground yourself first in the absolute knowing who you are, that you are this projection of an immortal, an incredible, powerful immortal projected into a little wisp of time and space, into the incarnation, the avatar that is you. So what I was inspired to do is to make a list about who I am. And who I am primarily is a being that loves to create. So I wrote down all the things I love to create. First on my list is I love to create these YouTube videos. I love to express myself outward and share it with the world. So in 2025, I'm going to do more videos. I also love to write. In fact, I'm right now working on finishing up my second book. It's part of a trilogy called The Story of E, and it's based on real life experiences and a lot of fantasy involved, but fantasy grounded in truth. That brings me so much joy writing. It's very challenging for me, but I love it. So I'm going to do more of that in 2025. I also love my website. I created this beautiful website, but I haven't put much content in it. So I'm going to put more content in it. I also love to create beauty around me, and I create it through nurturing incredible friendships in my life, through sharing love and compassion and understanding with everybody that I meet. For me, that creates a beautiful world, and that's the world I want to live in. I also like to create physical beauty, so I'm going to do more things with my hands when time allows, so I can create beautiful things. That really inspires me. And then the next on my list was intellectual stimulation. In 2025, I'm ready to just explore new things and expand my mind. There's a few more things on my list, but they're very personal, so I'll just keep those to myself. But when I was done making this list, I looked at it and I'm like, oh, do you know what I just did? I just created my joy list. I created the list of things that really bring me joy in this life. I did a video a few weeks ago called Screw New Year's Resolutions. And in it, I talked about instead creating your joy list. So this is a perfect time if you haven't done this already. Once you ground yourself in the absolute knowing and harmonizing with the truth of who you are, make that list. Next, I suggest is to make another list. And this is the list of what's not working in your world. The things that maybe are just stagnant, that aren't really moving you forward, aren't creating joy in your life, but maybe are just comfortable. Make a list of those things. Make a list of the things that are actually pulling you down, that are no longer working for you. Be fearless about it. Make that list. Don't think about how to resolve them, because that's not important. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. The important thing is just to bring to consciousness the things that are harmonizing and the things that are not harmonizing. So the important thing you can do now, and this is vital, is to gather up all that information. And for me, I say that I place it on the altar of my being. Now, somebody like Jason from Archaics, he's going to say, you put that into the field. You inform your field about what that is that makes you happy, and maybe the things that don't make you so happy anymore and you want change. You just inform the field with the truth of who you are right now. And then this is, I feel like, the step that most of us miss. This is a step that can trip me up as well, is that I allow. I simply allow it, rest in the field, to rest on the altar of my being, and then I let go. I let go of it. And letting go takes a real act of trust. If you do this enough times, then you develop that trust. If you haven't yet, well, try it to see what happens. Because what you're going to discover is that you can absolutely trust the immortal within. You can trust the informed field to bring those things back around to you in a perfect way, an absolutely perfect way. And this is a good time to talk a little bit about power versus force. So often, once we know what we want to do in life, whether it's things we want to bring in, things we want to let go of, we tend to make the list of how we're going to go about doing that. And then we start forcing the material world to come into those forms, those mind models that we've created. We start to force them into being. Now, for me, that's like taking the tail of the dog and starting to shake it and say, "Daggone it, dog, be happy." If I just shake that tail, that'll make the dog happy. Well, do you know any dog that's happy having his tail grabbed and getting shaken? No, it doesn't it's not happy. Potentially you're going to get bit, it's going to growl, but it doesn't make for a happy dog. So instead of forcing the material world to conform to what you want, what I propose is to allow that to come in, to let it flow in. And that's where real power is. And that's where the power and the perfection of the immortal, of the informed field, that it can work. And I tell you what, that creates the happy dog, and the tail wags perfectly. Your life will form up perfectly. Not what you think, maybe in the way that you think it's gonna, but in a way that's gonna work up and align with the next steps of moving forward into 2025. And this is all about flow. This is creating flow in your life. Flow is power. Flow is power that's connected to the immortal, to the truth of who you are. And for me, that is authenticity. Reconciliation is all about authenticity, is realigning your world up with the authentic you. But you first have to understand who that is, and that is why we make those lists, right? And that is why then once we make the list, we let go. We trust the field and we let go into it. This is the message that came through to me today. This is a message that sings to my heart. Finally, and it feels great, is to allow that to flow in. And I set it up very carefully in what I did. So once I was outside, I had my little ceremonial brew and I had my little ceremonial smoke. I came in and I had a ceremonial bath. How I did that is I poured hot water in the tub and then I added some Epsom salts, a whole cup of them, a cup of baking soda, and a half a cup of apple cider vinegar. It's a very cleansing and soothing bath to have. I suggest you try it sometime. It's wonderful. So I cleansed myself. I got up. I put on my ceremonial outfit. And this outfit happened to be a gift from a friend of mine that passed many years back. It's the first time I've worn it. And I love it. It's beautiful. And what I'm going to do right after this video is I'm packing it up and I'm bequeathing it to another friend of mine so that she can enjoy it too. And it's imbued with all kinds of wonderful things from today. So that is my message for you all today. This is my message, my gift to myself and my gift to you about how to usher in a powerful 2025, to keep in mind the word reconciliation and what that really means to you. What it means to me is lining up authentically with who I am, and to put that into the field of my being, inform that field of exactly what brings me joy in my life, and then allow the magic to come, allow that flow to come into my world, and then to sit back and see all the beautiful changes that happen. Sit back and see, where should I move forward? Where do I not move forward? What changes do I need to make? I don't have to be cranking the wheels of my consciousness and trying to figure this all out. You don't have to crank the wheels and trying to think this through. Stop trying to think it through. Allow it to come through and then act on that. You know what? If we all do that, that's what changes the world. Most importantly, it changes our world, and that's our responsibility, right? That's our true responsibility for incarnating, is to change this world. Enough people do it, the world starts to realign. The world starts reconciling. It's happening. We see it happening. It can reconcile, and it can line up with the higher dimensions of vibration. And you know what? This whole beautiful illusion, what we're living into, why can't we have it be an illusion of abundance, illusion of peace and joy and happiness, all those things that we say that we want, we say we pay tribute to, but how do we really make it happen? I believe this is a good step in that direction. So to all of you, what I wish is a beautiful, beautiful new year for you, that 2025 can be a year that you harmonize more closely with who you really are. And I'm excited to see the results. I'm excited to see the results in my own world. So always, everybody, peace from within and blessings to you.